Hey guys, Trevor Stolber here. Just want to share with you some of the strategies and techniques we've been using to get really good LinkedIn reach engagement. Uh, so let me get started here. So what I'm going to show you here is a document covering how to leverage the LinkedIn platform. These are techniques and tactics. They're not tricks. It's no magic bullet. It does require effort and participation and consistency to get results. So I'm going to give you a high level overview, the process we use, some group activities you can do with your coworkers, some individual activities and areas to work on, the type of media that you can use, and some examples. So let's get to it. So high level, one of the most important things that I see a lot of people miss is native content only. So that means don't just post a link to your latest blog post. That just kills the platform reach, and that's how I see most people using it. So don't think of it as a window to put your content onto, or your external content at least. That's one of the biggest mistakes that I see most people make, and it just kills organic reach right there. So don't do that. And then this one, be engaging. Kind of fuzzy. Obviously, you want to engage. Activity and engagement really drives organic reach as well. The way that the algorithm works. So make sure that you're very engaging with your content and others' content. Also, just be engaging on the platform. It's a network. Then another a big thing that helps with reach is to make sure that, and I'll show some examples here. Make sure the first part of your post or whatever content you're sharing is a hook. You want someone to click the read more or view more. So try and make the first two sentences. Make sure it leaves doesn't answer the post fully, and it's going to make someone want to click and read more. So that gets engagement up, and that extends the reach of your post. So tagging people is definitely something that the LinkedIn algorithm looks for. It even notifies you if you have a low performing post and suggests that you should tag someone. So tag a couple of relevant people in the post, tag someone that you think is going to engage, and tag anyone else involved in the content or anyone that you think might be interested. Use appropriate hashtags. So this is important too. It basically helps surface your post for content that people are searching for. If you don't have the hashtag there, there's really nothing that says this content is about that topic. So I try and have a few, like maybe 5 appropriate hashtags, and I generally use a fairly standard set, although I will adjust them based on what the post is about. Um, Generally, I usually use them at the end of the post, but it's fine and actually good to use them within the content that you write as well. Especially if it flows well and it bolds the word and it makes it look it makes it jump out. So if that fits and it looks appropriate, do it. And then lastly, this is the biggest one that's worked for me. Just share something. Just say something. I'm a complete introvert and I kind of hate to do this stuff, but there's no denying that it really works. So, just get your voice out there, just say something, generate some engagement. It works really well and it makes the organic algorithm extend your reach. So, the process, I like to have things broken down into processes. It works really well for me. I try not to be too rigid with this though. Be authentic is one of those terms that people use, and it's very appropriate here. So have some kind of process, some kind of flow and structure to it, but it doesn't need to be too rigid. So you know post daily if you can. There's a few techniques that I've got that help me with that. There's some ideal times to post depending on your niche. Like mine, it's kind of 9 to 11 a.m. on a Tuesday to Thursday are key important times, but any time's good. It doesn't have to be too rigid. Um, yeah, react to and comment on all comments that others post quickly as soon as it's posted. So the more people that comment early on, the faster that will get your reach growing, and then that will make your post a lot more engaging. Um, and make a point to engage with others' posts as well. It's not just, hey, look at my stuff. I try and add valuable comments on other people's posts in my network. Try and add value where you can. If you haven't got anything good to say, don't say it. But yeah, just try and add value to others' content as well. And connect with lots of people. Expand your network. You don't have to know them. Generally, that's what people tend to think of LinkedIn as. But as long as they're people that you think you can add some value to, and they'll add value to your network, they're in a related area. Connect with those people. You'll find some amazing connections that way. I've just made some great connections, and it's a good way to grow your reach too. And follow and interact with key influencers and brands. So it's akin to the link building technique term newsjacking. It's used differently on social platforms, and it's not spam the comments of every influential person's post, but it is add your insight and appropriate comments where it fits. And it's also being aware of what key influencers are doing and just keeping up to date with your network. There's a few specific settings that a lot of people miss if you want to really expand your reach. So you've got to make sure that your profile is public and discoverable. Make sure you fully complete your profile and add images and as much detail as possible, and endorse others' profiles for various skills as well, because that really helps. It helps you when it happens to you. So, what goes around comes around. Make sure you give out what you receive. Another mistake that I see people making is not linking the company page that you work for in your experience. So what you should see is you should see your company logo pop up there, and it should be a clickable link to the company page. That helps because when somebody follows you, they also get to see the company you work for and can follow the company. So that's a good thing to do. And the way I do this is I just start a Google document with a list of topics that I'm interested in. And I occasionally just go through and add to it when I think of something, and I just use that as my sort of content pool where I grab stuff from and then add to when I've been thinking about it. That's really it. That's really the only process that I use. Group activities. So if you have a few coworkers involved in marketing your business, like and comment on each other's posts, tag an appropriate team member where appropriate, use positive language. There's an argument to be said, be controversial, cause some controversy, have a negative opinion. That does work, but I don't advise it. It just doesn't fit with my value system. And be positive, but don't just say nice job. Try and add some context and value to it. It's kind of a new form of spam where you just have these comments where you just say, yeah, good, nice, add some value. And this is an absolute lifesaver for me. I use Grammarly to fix all of the errors that I make, because I make many of them, especially as I try and go really fast, and Grammarly is really useful. So one thing that you can do is, this is just a screenshot of my Google Doc that I use, and I just have a list of targets, and I put when I post them, outline what your key hashtags are and talk about what your main area of expertise is. And then the media that you use, I think a lot of people, myself included, get hung up on not having any really nice shiny piece of content to share. So something's better than nothing. Text is just fine, actually very underrated. So, text is the quickest, easiest, cheapest form of content. If you haven't got anything else, just do it. That's fundamental. Just do it. But a nice graphic and screenshot can also be quite useful. Video is definitely better. And if you can upload screencasts, screenshots, or video recording and explainers, that works really well. Make sure you have permission to share and you're not releasing sensitive or confidential information. And very important, make sure you own the copyright to the material. I'm just going to show you a couple of quick examples here. This was one of my best posts, and it was, this kind of looks like advertising for Canva, but it really wasn't. It was just me sharing something that I was, started to use this tool, also asked. I thought it was really great, and I thought I'd phrase it as a little bit of a question. So what I do is here I've got a pretty good hook. It says it's completely free, which immediately draws people's attention. I highlight a few of the key things that it can do for you and ask questions. What if you could do this? What if it could do that for you? And then, I request that people put a comment and say that they want it, because then I'll respond to it, and that adds the content flow, and a very high engagement, and then that causes more organic reach. And so I shared it for appropriate hashtags, and I included a screenshot of what the tool does, but it doesn't really give away what the tool is. So this worked very, very well. I think I got 20,000 views on that post. And then I shared an example of how we have our sort of process flow in Trello, and how we integrate it with SEMrush. And this just shows our sort of routine actions that we do. And that got quite a lot of engagement too. And then I shared a real world example of something I was working on. Again, just this was something that I already had this screenshot that was going in a report. I just wrote a quick post about it. So here was an example of it tells you should mention someone if you don't get very much traction, and then shows you when you get some posts trending and how many followers you gain from that. And then, make sure your profile is very well filled out and add as much detail as you can. Make sure you're linking to the actual company page, and make sure you've got all of the settings public. It's nice to use a custom URL if you can, if it's available. That's really good to do. Yeah, and then here's just an overview of the Google Doc that I use. I just have a list of my topics outlined, and I think it makes sense to just put the date that you posted something so that you don't accidentally repost the same thing. And I usually expand on all of these anyway when I do them. So yeah, I hope that helps you get more organic reach on the LinkedIn platform. Good luck with it. Let me know how it works out for you. And number one thing, just post. Make sure you get to it.